And on the first day, he said, petroleum subsidy is gone. Then the forex, both the window, parallel market, and the as it were. And we have seen today one that the naira is dancing palongo. It's 9.20 to $1 today. And we know that the removal of fuel subsidy has consequences. And the consequences are manifesting now. But he has told us that he feels our pain. And he has told us, and I believe too, that the subsidy has to go, just like all the other presidential candidates told us during the campaign that they will remove the subsidy. They are on the same page on the removal of the subsidy. It is not as if I will or I will not. They are all agreed that there is a need for the subsidy to go, but the methodology is what differs. And I still believe too that for the subsidy to go, there was the need for the president or the government to have put certain things in place. And the absence of such thing is what is causing the hardship in the land now. And again, given the fact that PMC is dollar denominated, the pump price depends on the value of the naira and the prevailing dollar. But the government is there to cushion the effect of all this. That is where this issue of palliative comes in. The palliative, as it is being touted and done today, leaves a lot and a sour taste in the tongue. We said this yesterday, that giving 5 billion to each state and the federal capital is good, but it's not enough. What would they do? Or what should they do with the money given to them? We cannot tell or ask all the state governments to do the same thing, because what is needed in this state may not necessarily be what the other state will need. But we are all agreed on one thing, that the security situation in the country is not particularly okay. The health care delivery is not okay. The road infrastructure, especially in the rural areas, is not okay. Our educational system is in comatose. Some of these issues, I think, are basic issues that should engage the attention of the government. And I think if we are able to solve some of these problems, it will ease the hardship in the land. I do not buy into this idea of dashing people money, giving them a mudu of gari or a bag of rice in the name of palliative. I do not think so.
Okay, now don't forget that this is still Super Citizen at sunrise this morning. My name is still Ekene Ezepue, and this is 93.7 FM Citizen FM right here in the FCT. Don't forget that the voice you just heard is the voice of Mr. Salmon Salami, a media consultant and a veteran journalist. Now, we want to go straight to this one that made headline this morning, and it says it's talking about the issue of Mr. President's certificate. Is gathering a lot of raising eyebrow. We want to dwell on it a little bit. The court where the case is in the United States. Will anything that the court decides there have any effect here in Nigeria?
Nigeria is a sovereign state, and the highest court in Nigeria, in the land, is the Supreme Court of Nigeria. The judgment of any other court outside of Nigeria is not binding on Nigeria. But we should not close our eyes to perception. Perception is reality to some extent. We should not pretend that we are an island. No nation can be an island on its own. And in actual fact, the whole world has become a global village. Moving forward, the issue of the certificate or educational qualification of Mr. President has been on the front burner. But one thing is clear. Chicago State University has come out clean and clear that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did in fact attend Chicago State University. That the president attended the university, not only that he did that, he made a first class and he read accountancy or accounting. So I do not think that we need any soothsayer or a priest or a judge to pronounce on that. If the university which he claimed that he attended had come out openly to say he was our student, he was in the university, he made a first class, and that be it. If anybody has anything contrary, that person should come to court. And that court, I think, should be a court in Nigeria and not a court in the US. Whatever the pronouncement that comes out from any court outside Nigeria is of persuasive influence, and it is not binding on Nigeria. Nigeria is a sovereign state.
Okay, Nigeria is a sovereign state. Word of Mr. Salmon Salami this morning, and we are still moving forward. We want to discuss the issue of Labour Party. Labour Party, they've been in the news for the wrong reasons recently. After this election, a lot of problems has started, or maybe a lot of problems started in Labour Party. Do you think they can pull themselves together going into this off-season election with the way they are going?
Well, it's neither here nor there, because political parties in Nigeria, they lack ideology. They lack principles. And politicians in Nigeria, to a very large extent, are opportunists. And we are saying this with all sense of responsibility. They lack ideology. They lack focus. And I want to believe that quite many of them are in politics, not because they want to serve or want to render selfless service to the people, but because they want to serve their pockets. To them, political parties are vehicles for making money. And if we go into politics with this wrong mindset, what do you expect? Apapa and Aburi fighting. Are they fighting for the common man? Are they fighting because of principle? Are they fighting because they want to reform the polity? They are fighting for position. Who is the national chairman? I am the national chairman. You are not the national chairman. And this is unfortunate, because Nigerians, to some extent, believe that Labour Party will make a difference. And that was what was responsible for the spectacular performance of Labour Party. Of course, we should not rule out the fact that the presidential candidate of the party was somebody that quite many people perceive to be a man who can bail out the country. To some extent, some people feel that here is a man who will do things differently. To a very large extent, some people still believe that Peter Obi has what it takes to move the country forward. We have passed that stage because this is not the time for campaign. Campaign is over and a winner has emerged. Whether we like it or not, a winner has emerged. INEC declared the winner and the winner of the election has been sworn in. The winner of the election as at today is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Unless the court rules otherwise. That is where we are. Now, the Labour Party's problem. We have seen this before. We saw it in PDP. It happened in APC. It only means that these political parties are not grounded in ideology. If they are well grounded in ideology and they have people who share the same view as to what politics should be and how it should be played, we will not be seeing all these things. It is an amalgamation of strange bedfellows united by one thing: to make the country like a
cash cow.
One man, one chief, I've forgotten his name, who told Bola Ige that we call Bola Ige to come and chop. When Bola Ige left AD to join Baba Obasanjo's administration, said they will call him to come and chop. I don't know
what they are chopping.
No, we know what they are chopping. We all know what. Don't we see what they are doing? When somebody who is a vulcanizer is now becomes a councillor, and you see the kind of cars it will acquire in a short period, when Akpabio will have a Freudian slip and say that they are giving them holiday allowance. I think we need to hold government accountable and hold whoever is a public office holder accountable. People do not know that they have the power to hold these people accountable because ultimate power belongs to the people. If only they do know. And if they know the worth of their mandate. Let's come back to the Labour Party.
Please, let's come back to Labour Party.
I've been saying it that Nigerians are Nigerians. And politicians in any party are not likely to behave differently because they are propelled by one thing. And what is that thing? To get power so that they can amass wealth. Not necessarily because they see public office as public trust that should not be obeyed. Not that they see political parties as avenue into getting to power to serve the people. If these are the main issues of most politicians in Nigeria, then we will not be seeing the kind of cantankerous fighting and ceaseless litigation.
Abure is
and the craze for power.
Okay, Abure has his own judgments from Edo State. Yesterday, and a judgment actually came out from Imo State. The copies of that particular judgment have not been made public yet. Until maybe today it will come out. But what we know is that there's a judgment that came out from Imo State yesterday.
That states that Apapa is the chairman.
That Apapa is the chairman of the Labour Party. Another one. So we have conflicting judgments after judgments. We don't even know the one to believe.
The one that came from the Court of Appeal that affirms Apapa as the chairman is the latest.
That was the one of yesterday.
Yes. And the principle of stare decisis, precedent, stay by the decision. And the hierarchy of court, whatever Court of Appeal says, supersedes whatever the High Court says. If, as we speak, the pronouncement from the Court of Appeal supersedes whatever any other federal high court must have said on that matter.
So that means from appeal to Supreme Court now.
Well,
that's what it means. And they will get this judgment before November 11th because we have a lot of confusion coming from Imo State. Achonu is a candidate of LP. That's the Abure faction. And we have other candidates coming from other factions. We have like 3 factions in it.
But the appeal court has said that the candidates from Apampa, from that emerged from the Apampa faction is the legally recognized candidate. That is the court. But I don't think that is the end of the matter, because I want to still plead that the court should not decide who the candidate of a party should be. It's the people who should decide who they want.
Which people? The people of the party.
The party men.
The party men.
The party men should decide. But in all this, they should make sure that they follow the laid down constitution. Because if you do not follow the constitution of your party and you do things outside of what the constitution stipulates, the court will always come in to tell you that yes, you can act, but you must act according to what is in your constitution.
So if the court decides that Apapa is the chairman of Labour Party, simply means that Apapa candidate will be the one to vie for the position of governorship in Imo State.
That is the position of the law.
All right.
That is the position of the law, and that is how it will be. What we are saying is this. Yes, political parties reserve the right to decide who their candidates are. But in doing this, you must follow the constitution of your party. Anything you do outside the provision of your constitution is null and void and of no effect. I do not want to speak like a son because I'm not a lawyer.
Okay. All right. Let's leave it at that and move straight to agriculture. Don't forget that what we are discussing this morning is the state of the nation. Recently, the former senator is made the Minister of Agriculture. That's Abubakar Kyari. He's from Borno State. He's always coming from the north. The agriculture minister, the Minister of Agriculture, always from the north. Is it not high time we pick somebody from the south, like somebody from the south, to see what will happen? But it looks as if maybe it's always one side. Why is it always like that?
I don't join this type of discussion where we look at issues from where the occupant or somebody occupying the position comes from. Is from the north, from the south. No. What should be paramount and be more important to Nigerian is performance and result. If a southerner occupies a position and fails to perform, we condemn that person, irrespective of where he comes from. The most important thing to Nigerian is not as much where the occupier of a position comes from, but the performance and the capacity to perform. Let us not...
Do you think he will perform?
I am not an oracle, but we will keep them on their toes. And we keep on challenging them that, please, there is the need for food security. Please, there is the need for you to do the needful. And as media men will be constructive enough, and we will always inform and educate Nigerians on what to demand or expect from those who have offered themselves to lead this country.
Okay, this one is let's go on the foreign scene and discuss some of these issues. Someone raised it this morning, and we want to correct that impression and read out the real news so that you'll be informed properly. Former President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, was arrested at a Georgia jail Thursday on racketeering and conspiracy charges and released on a $200,000 bond after having a historic mugshot taken. Trump, who is accused of colluding with 18 other defendants to overturn the 2020 election results in the southern states, spent less than 30 minutes inside Atlanta's Fulton County jail before leaving in a motorcade for airports. Like the other defendants in the case who have surrendered so far, the 77-year-old Trump had his mugshot taken during the booking process, a first for any serving or former U.S. president. Okay, America is like they are embarrassing their former president. This is the first time, and he's coming up here like he's the first embattled former president of the United States. What kind of a lesson are we going to learn from this?
I don't know whether you should dub that or term that as embarrassment, but I would rather see it as law taking its course and reiterating the fact.
Why is it not happening in Africa?
That no man is above the law. No one is above. How will it happen in Africa? We have been told times and times over. Obama came here and told us that let us build strong institutions and not strong individuals. It only means that they have institutions in America that will take care of things. They are more interested in the due process. They are more interested in law taking care of things. They are more interested in allowing the processes, the law and institution to take precedence over man. It only means no matter how strong you think you are, how important you think you are not above the law. And you are subject to the provisions of the law. It's the rule of law, not the rule of man or the rule of thumb. And that is how society should be organized in such a way that if you break the law, the consequence is there. And where people respect laws, you see that they have organized and orderly society. That is why the Western world is still what it is today, because they have built strong institutions and not strong individuals. And no matter how popular you think you are still subject to the provisions of the law.
Okay, now we can see that happening right there in the case of former president of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump. Now,
even in South Africa, it happened.
Of course, the former president Jacob Zuma, is still in prison. But we want to see this thing happen. Like it looks like something that can never be done in Nigeria. We want to see it.
I don't know the meaning that it can never be done. You see, I'm an incurable optimist. I very much believe that at the end of the day, because there is just no other way to go, the law and the courts should be the final arbiter. And if we still desire an organized society, there is the need, and we must do this.
Nigerian law works for some; it doesn't work on some. So that is it.
I am not going to impugn on the judiciary.
That is it.
Nigeria still has one of the best judiciary in the world, and our judicial officers are up and doing.
Okay, let's leave it that way and move straight to this one. Now, we want to see, do you think this will have a dent going forward towards the United States election coming up on Trump? Like, do you see things crippling him?
Well, you see, America and Americans, they are a different kind of human being. What we consider as issues here and what we take into consideration here before election are not necessarily what they look for. They are a peculiar people. They know exactly what they want, and they know who can give them what they want, and they go for what they want. There are so many issues that determine who becomes the president in America. It is not so in Africa, so to speak. But let us keep our gunpowder dry and watch how events unfold.
Okay, let's leave it this way. Donald Trump is the case when someone wants to really, digest this thing properly in a law, angle, get some facts, what this have to do in terms of you paying for bail in the tone of $200,000 and you are released. What can this do in terms of the person's vying for that position of number one seat in the United States? We really want to know the angle, what law says about it, when the time comes. But let's move away from this, and when the time comes, we'll bring a lawyer, then we can talk about it more. All right? But all we know is that he paid $200,000 for bail. Now, we want to discuss further, but we want to get you involved too, so you can be able to make your contributions as well. So call us on our line 081-822-22205. I call it again, 081-822-22205. Or you call us on our other line, 090-32-22-9797. I call it again, 090-32-22-9797. When we come back from this short break, we'll still be discussing more on the state of the nation. It's still Super Citizen at Sunrise this morning, 93.7 FM on Big Talk. We'll be right back. It's still Super Citizen at Sunrise this morning, and my name is still Ekene Ezepue. Now, we have this one coming from the not so good story coming from Edo State, and it says gunmen suspected to be armed on Wednesday attacked an army patrol van in Edo State, killing a soldier and carting away sacks believed to have been loaded with cash. 3 soldiers were said to have been in the military vehicle that was heading towards Ipoba Hill when the robbers struck at the traffic lights along Apokpava Road by First Junction around 2:10 p.m. The suspects drove an unmarked Toyota Camry car against the traffic facing the military vehicle as 2 of the 4 occupants allegedly alighted and opened fire on the soldiers. The 3 soldiers were said to have abandoned their patrol vehicle and the sacks as they took to their heels. Now, this is not a ghost story. It's coming from Edo State. And we want to know the kind of, immediate this thing happens, what kind of arms do you think someone will have that will be more superior than that of military people, that even made them to run away? You know, it simply means that after elections, all sorts of arms gets into the wrong hands, and many things will start happening. What do you think? How can you assess this bad story coming from Edo State?
I want us to situate things properly and logically. We should not be saying after elections arms got into wrong hands. These are speculations. The important thing is this: armed gunmen attacked soldiers. There were sacks believed or suspected to contain money or cash. So that is all we know. Any other thing is in the realm of speculation. And I don't want us to speculate, especially when Citizen FM is known for being factual. Well, it's a sad story. It is unfortunate, and more unfortunate when we were told that the soldiers took to their heel. Let's leave it at that. Let us wait and see how the story is developing. We'll still come to that, because I am very sure that the government will swing into action. And at the end of the day, we will know exactly what transpired.
Okay, we'll know exactly what transpired. The government stops Akure Monarch from closing markets. This one is like a monarch is trying to give an order, and this particular institution have so much been trampled upon. Traditional institution now, when they are giving orders like this, and then the governor of the state is telling the monarch, like, hey, listen, I'm the chief here, I'm the boss here, so I'm the one that should give such an order, not you. What do you think, Mr. Salmon?
Well, the questions are, in what capacity is the monarch giving and the order?
That people should close their market, should close markets.
In his capacity as who? No, he is giving the order in his capacity as who?
He's the monarch. That particular institution used to be a very big institution in the past.
He's living in the past then. If he's still living in the past, let him enjoy his dream. Let him enjoy his dream. And dreamers don't see, they only hallucinate. A monarch cannot give an order. Even the monarch is under the governor. It's not for fun that they call governor chief executive of a state. The governor of a state is the chief executive of that state. And traditional rulers used to be very, very relevant in the scheme of things. What is the constitutional provision for traditional rulers nowadays? I think the man, the crown head, exceeded the limit of his powers, if he does have any. And he has been cut to size. Let it be like that. He has no constitutional power, or he has no power under the constitution to order the opening or closure of any market.
That is the prerogative of the government, all right? Okay, let's leave it that way. And pick these callers. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ekene. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Good morning.
Salami.
Yeah, Alamin, how are you?
I'm fine. Calling from Kwarimpa this morning.
All right.
Unfortunately, I couldn't call in during the